So the game I'm playing today is called Alien Storm for the Sega Genesis. This game is effectively a combination of three different genres. Primarily, it is a beat-em-up, but it's also a run-and-gun and a rail shooter at the exact same time. If that description confuses you greatly, don't worry, it'll all make sense when I start playing the game. So this game was developed and published by Sega. I believe it was developed by Sega's AM1 studio specifically, or at least the arcade version was. Indeed, this game is yet another example of an arcade game being ported over to a console. This game originally came out in arcades back in 1990, and it was later ported to the Genesis in 1991. The Genesis port in particular was developed by Sega's AM7 division. The plot of this game is pretty simple. Basically, a group of aliens are hell-bent on taking over the Earth and killing all of its inhabitants, and you, the player, are in control of a team of so-called alien busters, who have been sent forth to put a stop to this alien invasion. Are there any more plot elements in the game than just that? No, not really. This was back at a time when video games in general didn't really possess any sort of meaningful story elements, not like they ever really needed them anyway. But with Alien Storm in particular, it's like Sega didn't even try at all. It's just like, oh, alien invasion, here's these group of warriors that are sent here to put a stop to it, and that's it, that's the plot. I wouldn't even say that this is the best beat-em-up that Sega has made, honestly. It definitely pales in comparison to future beat-em-ups that would come out after this, like Streets of Rage for instance. And hell, I would even go as far as to say that Golden Axe is way better than this game. As a matter of fact, that's pretty much what Alien Storm is. Like, if you want a better idea as to what you can expect out of Alien Storm, it's basically science fiction Golden Axe. That's the best way I can describe it. The game is definitely a lot faster paced than Streets of Rage or Golden Axe though. I really do like the fast-paced arcade nature of this game, which makes sense because this was originally an arcade game. It's also a very short game. There's only about 8 levels in this game in total, and apparently 2 of them are exclusive to the Genesis version, because the arcade version only had 6 levels. Its difficulty more than makes up for it though. Alien Storm is a fairly difficult game. And I'm not planning on showing off every single level in the game anyway. I've managed to make it to the second to last level before, when I was playing this off screen. Anyway, that's not really all that important. You're probably a lot more interested in seeing what the game actually looks like, so let's get to it then. Now, one thing I do want to show off on this main menu screen here is that there are different game modes. So, this game does support 2 players, and apparently the arcade version actually supported 3 players. I will say that this game definitely seems like it was designed a lot more for co-op play. I feel like this is one of those games where you're not really getting the true experience out of it unless you're playing with a friend. Like, it can still be enjoyed in single player, and I still got some enjoyment out of this game even when I was playing it by myself off screen. But yeah, this definitely feels like something that was designed for more than one player. And actually, that's just kind of how I feel about beat-em-ups in general. There's also this mode right here that's grayed out, called the Duel. I have no idea what this is. I'm going to assume that it's probably some sort of, I don't know, like a fighting game mode? I'm not entirely sure what this is, but you can't select it, and I have no idea how to unlock it either. I assume you probably have to beat arcade mode first, perhaps? I'm not entirely sure, and for whatever reason, there's also the option to play the demo again. Normally, the demo will play if you just leave the game idle on the title screen for a little while, but when you actually go to the main menu, there's another option to just play the demo. Not really sure what that's all about. We'll go to arcade first, though. Yeah, 1-player play or 2-player play. Oh, well, actually, maybe the 1-player versus 2-player is a fighting game mode. I have no freaking clue. It doesn't matter. Let's just get to 1-player play, alright? So, we have 3 different characters to select from here. We have Karen, Scooter, and Garth. So all of these characters do have their own unique abilities, and we are gonna go with Karen for now. I would like to show off every single character in this game, so when I do end up getting a game over, I probably will come back and try to show off some of the other characters. So, Karen has a flamethrower here, as you can see, so if you want to know what the controls are, you press the B button to attack, you can press the C button to perform a dodge roll, kind of like that. That was a pretty good dodge roll right there, actually, because I think I just straight up avoided that guy's attacks. There we go. These little E batteries give you energy for your weapons, because using your weapons does cost energy in this game, but you also have a special attack, which you can only use if you have energy. The only problem is that it depletes a lot of energy, but it can be used for wiping out every single character on the screen if you find yourself in a predicament, or wiping out all the enemies, I should say. So, every enemy will eventually spontaneously combust when you damage them enough. Yeah, and you can also kind of juggle the enemies a little bit. See, the problem that I have with this game is that some of the moves don't feel... like, the combat doesn't really feel as deep as Streets of Rage, though, because there's a very limited amount of moves that you have. My phone is ringing. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Unsurprisingly, it was nobody I recognized. Also, this is a very weird-looking pause screen right here. It just kind of looks like this alien's making out with Karen here. Please get off my face. There we go. Yeah, so I was saying, there's a very limited amount of moves that you can perform with each character in this game. Like, you have a weapon that you can use, and if you tap the B button multiple times, you can kind of do this thing, yeah, where she pulls out an Uzi and just shoots the aliens right in the face, which looks kind of cool, but yeah, not a whole lot of moves you can perform, and of course there's also the dodge rolls. Oh yeah, by the way, this is what I was talking about when I said that the game also functions as a rail shooter. So, usually in some of these levels, you have this section where you are trying, like, you basically have this pseudo 3D perspective right here, where you have to basically shoot all of the aliens that are hiding underneath these crates. Well, they're not hiding underneath them, but they're, like, hiding behind them, and you have to scout them out, and once you kill all of them, that's basically it for that section. And that's actually it for the first level, by the way, so we're already on the mission 2, Expel the aliens. Yeah, so like I said, there's only 8 missions in total. There aren't that many boss fights in this game either. I think there's only, like, 3 of them in total. And I do believe we fight one of the bosses in this particular mission. So yeah, you do have, like, rail shooter sections, because I do believe the character you're controlling moves automatically in the rail shooter sections, I should say, but their weapon does not move automatically. You can actually control it yourself, and I've seen, like, a demo of this game showing off, like, 2 different players controlling their own weapons at the same time, and it looks absolutely chaotic, man. Again, this really does feel like it would be a lot more fun to play with another person here. Again, it's still playable with one player, but yeah, it's definitely nowhere near as enjoyable. Sometimes it does kind of feel like it's just a button mashing game where you just repeatedly mash B in order to win. That's kind of what it feels like, and that's one of the problems that I have with this game. And it's not like any of the enemies drop items either, because one of the things that I like about the Streets of Rage games is that sometimes the enemies can drop weapons that you can pick up, and then you can use yourself. Unfortunately, this game does not have a mechanic like that. Also, I should probably dodge roll here. So, something else that I do like as well is that you can dodge roll into a melee attack, and the way that you perform melee attacks in this game is basically by tapping B repeatedly. However, if you dodge roll by pressing C and then tapping B in the middle of a dodge roll, you can basically, like, melee some of the enemies. Like, you can basically, like, hit them with the brunt of your weapon, or, like, the butt of your weapon, basically. Oh yeah, here's the boss, by the way. This is the first boss of the game. I know there's, like, a lot of things that are happening very quickly here. I'm trying my best to keep up with it myself. God, yeah, I don't know what the names of any of the bosses are in this game. I just died, by the way. Yeah, you have 3 credits in total. Yeah, so you do also have credits, which are basically your lives. I don't think it's possible to obtain more credits in this game, so you pretty much have to make do with what you're given, pretty much. So you basically have 4 lives in total in this game, and these 4 lives are the only ones that you have for, like, the entire duration of the game. Yeah, you need to avoid this guy's lightning, because it will knock you over instantly, like, the moment it hits you. Yes, get all this good energy. Damn it! Didn't let me pick that up. Okay, well, here's the run and gun section right here that I was talking about, but this is basically like an auto-scroller almost. Yeah, you know, just jumping over a bridge, because, yeah. That's a thing that happens in this game. It just happens, and we're apparently okay with it. Yeah, so this is just, I guess this is almost like a bonus stage where you're just trying to kill as many enemies as possible. The game does keep track of your score, but you only get to see your score once you either complete the game or you get a game over. So it doesn't appear on the user interface or the heads-up display at any point. Yeah, you'll also notice that some of these aliens can turn into humans. They're basically like zombies. Yeah, so we have these new enemy types right here that kind of look like dragonflies almost. These guys can pick you up, and they can bring you up into the air and slam you down into the ground, so they're definitely dangerous. You want to get rid of them as quick as possible. So yeah, as with pretty much every other beat-em-up in existence, usually the game will not let you progress until you've defeated all the enemies on screen, and then once you have defeated all the enemies, it'll tell you to move on. See that little like go logo up there? Yeah, telling you to just move on to the next section. Get a move on here. Bonanza. I don't know if that's a reference to Bonanza Brothers, which is another Sega game that I've actually done a video on quite a few years ago. I do believe there is actually, like, subtle references to Sega's AM1 division in this game, because I think there is actually a shop somewhere. I don't know if it's in this level specifically, but there's a shop that you come across that does actually have the name AM1 on it. So I do like these little nods to, like, the original, like, division at Sega that developed this game. But again, keep in mind that the Genesis version was not developed by AM1. I think it was developed by AM7. Also, I am getting, like, pummeled here. Hang on a minute. You can also dive into enemies, by the way. Yeah, so if you're far away from enemies, instead of performing a melee attack where you hit them with the weapon itself, you'll just dive into them. Which does knock them back, though. I don't know if it does damage to them necessarily. But yeah, you can knock them back, though, if they're getting, all up in your face. Yeah, so here we go. We do have another rail shooter section right here in Mission 3, so yeah, basically, the entire point of these sections right here is to just shoot. Just shoot everything. Just shoot everything in your way. I do need to mention, though, that using up your normal weapons does cost energy as well, in addition to using your special attack. And I'm just realizing now that I haven't even shown off my special attack yet, so I'm gonna try and show that off in just a minute here, once we're done with this section. Yeah, so I'm not moving the camera on my own, the camera's actually moving automatically. I do like this kind of like pseudo 3D section though, where there's enemies that are like jumping out at you and lunging at you. Still pretty cool. Still interesting how they managed to accomplish that on the Genesis. Although I do think it would probably look way more impressive in arcade cabinet, like the actual arcade version. Because typically the problem here is that most of the Genesis ports of arcade games could never fully replicate the actual experience of, you know, playing the game in an arcade, especially graphics-wise, because typically, back in these times, whenever arcade games would get ported to consoles, there was usually a very obvious graphical downgrade that you could see. And I do believe when Alien Storm was brought over to the Genesis, there was a bit of a graphical downgrade that did occur. I do believe not the Genesis version, but the arcade port actually looks way better than this. Wow. I just blocked that. I blocked that guy's dive like 3 times in a row. Holy crap, really? Yeah, I forgot to mention that the enemies can dive into you as well, so that's what dodge rolling's useful for. I can't believe I haven't, like, died again yet. Yeah, these guys are coming out of this manhole. They're like, yeah, mutant lizard people. Just gotta incinerate them, burn them alive in broad daylight with my flamethrower. It actually makes sense here because I am using a flamethrower. There we go. Get the frick out of here. Oh yeah, by the way, we have another rail shooter section coming up. There's a little bit of sprite flickering going on here. There's too many things happening on the screen at once. There's another problem with a lot of these, like, old-ass retro games. Oh god, please stop poking me. Get out of here. Oh, Jesus. Okay, wow, that was actually a really good dodge, because, yeah, these big enemies can also, like, dive into you. And they try to, like, devour you as well. They're into vor. They have a vor fetish. Okay, oh my goodness gracious, I'm just getting poked all over the place. Get out of here. I don't know if you have invincibility frames when you come back from the dead. I have no idea. Yeah, if it sometimes looks like I'm not getting damage, like I'm actually, like, getting hit by the enemies and my life bar is not going down, I actually am still getting damage, but sometimes you have to get hit like 2 or 3 times in a row in order for the life bar to start depleting. I don't really know what that's all about. Also, I don't think it's possible to accidentally kill the humans in the rail shooter sections. Sometimes you have these little, like, health pickups that you can also grab too in order to restore your life. I think you can normally find it in the rail shooter sections. I don't know if you can normally find them in the, just the regular beat-em-up sections, though. I never came across them. There we go. These guys are, like, hiding underneath the televisions, or hiding behind them. There we go. Oh god, that guy was swiping at me. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of just button mash your entire way through this game, pretty much. I mean, there's really not a lot of strategy that goes into, like, beating this game in particular. There we go, I'm getting at least more energy here. Oh god, okay, well, that was timed horribly. Oh my god, there's so much crap happening. Yeah, but see, also the fact that there's so many enemies that it throws at you in the later rail shooter sections, it really does make me think that this was designed a lot more for co-op play. It seems like it would be a lot easier. Anyway, in this level right here, we do need to avoid those lasers because they will actually damage us if they hit us. So we just gotta try and avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. Oh god, I hate the fact whenever they go off screen and I can't even see them. Come on here. God, they take their sweet-ass time to come back as well. Yeah, sometimes they will also, like sometimes when you kill an enemy, they'll also morph into these little flies right here. Great, I still got hit by it anyway. I got hit by it either way, even though we said we weren't going to. Fantastic. I'm great at taking my own advice. Oh yeah, sure, but the enemies are not affected by it, because that's totally fair. Yeah, all fair game, clearly. So speaking of special attacks, I'm actually just gonna use one right here just to show this off. Okay, I don't know why the missile itself did not appear there, that was very weird, but all of the characters in this game have their own unique special attacks. So Karen's special attack is when she sends out a ballistic missile that basically blows everything up. Basically kills all of the enemies on screen, but somehow does not kill her. I don't get it at all. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't appearing though. Normally the missile itself does appear on screen, but I don't know. Sprite limit must have been hit or something. I'm doing like really bad right now. Holy crap, man. Anyway, another rail shooter section. There we go. Love these rail shooter sections. Got all these brains inside these jars. And you'd have to just... I mean, you don't have to destroy them, but if you want to get some items, potentially, then yeah, you're probably going to want to destroy all of them. There we go. Like this health pickup right here. There we go. I actually don't need that health pickup because I'm already at full health. Whatever. You can also destroy the background. I mean, I do really like just how destructible these environments are in the rail shooter sections, because you can basically, like... You can basically damage everything, including all the stuff that's hiding in the backgrounds. Like this wall all the way in the back, yeah, you can actually cause damage to it, even if it doesn't always, like, award you an item for doing so. I like the attention to detail at the very least, even though it's not the most, like, technically impressive game on the Genesis. Not by a long shot. I would even go as far as to say Streets of Rage is even more, like, technically impressive than this. Anyway, mission 6, we do actually have another boss here in this mission. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to survive all the way to the end, but I have managed to beat this mission before. Yeah, see, sometimes they transform into these little flies that will drop energy. And then when you destroy them, like, they can usually be destroyed in one hit, then they drop an energy battery. Very nice indeed. Yeah, there we go, I'm just, like, smacking him with my weapon right here. Let's see if I can try doing this again. Yeah, there. I wanted to show you the actual missile there. Don't know why it wasn't appearing before. Yeah, if you tap the D button in either the left or right direction, you can also run. And you can perform melee attacks while you're running, too. Like, if you're running and you tap the B button while running, then you can basically, like, punch and kick everything. Punch and kick everything in your way. Yeah, there we go. He just raises you up and then he just, like, slams you down. I mean, he doesn't really slam you down so much as he just, like, lets go of you, pretty much. Yeah, there's not that much variation in the enemy types either, because you'll notice that a lot of these enemies are actually the exact same. It's just that they're colored differently to show you that they're much more powerful versions of the enemies that you just fought. Which, I mean... I think Streets of Rage also kind of function like that to some degree, where, yeah, some of the enemies use, like, the exact same sprite, but just, like, different colorations, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. Please correct me if I am wrong about that, though, because I don't remember too much about Streets of Rage. I remember the music in Streets of Rage more than I remember the game itself. Yeah, so here's our second boss. As you can see, he's literally the same boss as the one we fought in Mission 2. Oh yeah, by the way, this guy also launches projectiles at you that I do believe you can destroy, though. You can destroy his projectiles. I mean, we can also do this as well to cause even more damage to him. But keep in mind that when you run out of energy, you won't be able to use your weapons anymore, so you'll have no choice but to resort to melee attacks, pretty much. And that's not always the most useful thing. Melee attacks don't do that much damage, that's the problem. Yeah, she also has, like, this rocket launcher that she sometimes launches at the enemies, too. Like, right here. Okay, she didn't use it there, though. Yeah, just like that. So, this boss in particular does actually have a second phase, unlike the original. I almost ran right into that guy. Hang on a second. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, this guy's attacks are, like, really fast. So I think what you have to do is that you have to, like, bait him into coming all the way over here. Because he usually, like follows your every move. And then you have to... Yeah, just riddle him with bullets, pretty much. Or, in this case, riddle him with fire. Okay, here's the second phase of the boss right here. So I have managed to beat this phase before, but with a different character. I'm gonna see if I can do it again, potentially. Yeah, so this guy is firing stuff in, like, basically all sorts of different background layers here. I think this is, like, the only attack that he even performs at all. I just rolled right into him. Great. Amazing. Top-level gameplay right here, guys. High-level gameplay. High-level Alien Storm gameplay. Good god, I would love to see what a TAS of this game would look like. I mean, I don't know if there does exist a TAS for this game. I have to check, like, the TAS Videos YouTube channel to see if there does exist a TAS of this game, because I would love to see what that actually looks like, especially with this boss in particular. I mean, I guess this boss is not really the most difficult in the world. Yeah, just, I don't know, like, dodge roll out of the way of his missiles. Oh my god, how many hits does he take, though? I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't know, maybe... Can I decipher, or can I possibly figure out how much health he has left from, like, the eyeballs? He has 5 eyeballs? Maybe they shut? They disappear? I don't freaking know. Yeah, it's... Oh, okay, well, he actually is dead. Okay, never mind that. Yeah, see, that's another thing, too. Sometimes it can be hard to tell, like, if you're even doing damage to them. Like, I know that they're flashing white, but it's like, you know, how far away are they from, like, dying, basically? Okay, so then the final phase of this mission, technically he does have a third phase, so this final phase of the boss right here is when this UFO starts taking off, and yeah, you have to go and destroy that UFO pretty much. Yeah, these guys you don't really need to worry about at all. You can just avoid them if you want. Oh god, okay, yeah, we're jumping over another frickin' bridge. Yeah, so this is dangerous though, because I did not actually mean to do that. Oops. That was bad. That was actually a misclick right there. Yeah, so what we're gonna have to do is that we're gonna have to destroy this alien UFO right here. It's gonna drop these little, like, bars with spikes on them, and they will explode in our face. That will trip us up if we run right into the smoke, though. Oh yeah, also that, does the debris also damage you as well? I don't even remember. Yeah, so, you'll know... Okay, well, I got a game over. Well, you'll know that you're damaging the UFO when it starts to disintegrate. I got a score of 36, rank Barbarian, there you go. As I was saying, it only shows your score at the very end of the game when you die. Yeah, Genesis does. Very nice little nod to, the old, what would you call it? The old, like, motto or slogan of the Genesis back in the early 90s. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Yeah, but as I was saying, you'll know that you're damaging the UFO when it begins to disintegrate. That's basically what I was trying to say. Eventually, it will just crash into the ground, and that'll basically be it for mission number 6. I have managed to beat the UFO before, for the record. It's just that, yeah, I'm just... Alien Storm is not the easiest game ever. That's honestly one of the more difficult sections in the game, like the final phase of mission 6. But this would give me an opportunity to show off some of the other characters, so we can show off this guy right here. So, this guy's name is Scooter. Scooter is a robot, and his weapon of choice is an electric whip, which is interesting. Yeah, so he's basically one of the weird characters. Yeah, definitely one of the weirdest characters in the game. He's also one of the easiest characters to use, I find. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe he was designed specifically to be used by beginner players, because his weapons do the most amount of damage to enemies by far. So, if you're new to this game, or if you haven't played a game like this before, I would probably recommend playing as Scooter, because, yeah, not only that, but his weapons are fairly long range too, so, yeah, he's basically like the character that you choose if you've never played beat-em-ups before, pretty much. Like, if you're not familiar with this game whatsoever, then he's pretty much the character to go with. So I can show off what his special attack looks like. So, Scooter's special attack is that he just blows up, and then his head drops, and then apparently he has a new body that forms almost immediately, which comes over to pick up his head. Yeah, he's definitely the weirdest character in this game. By far the easiest to use though, so yeah, if you're an absolute beginner, like I pretty much am, honestly, because I only played this game for a couple of hours off screen before recording this, not even actually, then yeah, you probably want to go with Scooter. I will be showing off the last character in this game a little bit later on. His name is Garth, if I'm not mistaken, the other character's name. I do believe some of the characters have different names depending on which version of the game you're playing, because I think in some versions of the game, Karen is actually called Carla, and Garth is called Gordon. Alien Storm was also released in Europe, and apparently there was a Master System version that was made of Alien Storm as well, but the Master System version was only released in Europe for some reason. Yeah, so there does apparently exist an 8-bit version of this game as well, but apparently only European players ever got the chance to play it, which is weird. That's a little bit bizarre. Not sure what the business decision behind that was exactly. Well, then again, I probably do know what the business decision was behind that, because I mean, the Genesis was already out, and yeah, the Master System version was already starting to show its age, or the Master System itself, I mean. I don't know, it's still kind of weird. It's still kind of strange how it only came out in PAL territories and nowhere else in the world. Like, especially when the Genesis version did come out in North America. That's a little bit strange. Okay, I'm not liking this at all. There we go, get out of here. Yeah, so I also want to mention too, though, that your special attacks don't always destroy every single enemy on the screen immediately, especially the more powerful ones. So usually they'll do damage to the more powerful enemy types, but they usually won't, like, destroy them outright. That's the only thing. Like, that's the only downside to using your special weapons. The special weapons can kill the small enemies almost instantly, but for the larger enemies, it's a bit of a different story. Also, I'm probably gonna die here anyway, so might as well just use another special attack. I mean, I still have a little bit more energy remaining, so let's see if I can do it. See if I can do it. Oh my god, how did that not actually hit me? I'm gonna see if I can try and get to mission 7. Okay, that did actually work. I'm surprised. Okay, here we go. Actually, let me collect all this crap, please. There we go. Very nice. Oh, I forgot you can also use your special attack in the run and gun sections too. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Oh yeah, you can also jump in the run and gun sections if you try pressing the C button. Yeah, instead of rolling, you'll just jump. I guess if you want to try and cover some more distance, or cover some more ground. Not really sure what the purpose of it is, though. I guess for when the enemies are charging towards you and you just want to jump over them. I mean, what other attacks does Scooter have here? Yeah, he has this one attack right here as well, where he basically body checks the enemies. Yeah, he doesn't even use any weapons at all. You just body check them. Actually, I wonder if you can just do this for, like, the entire game. There we go. Body slam everyone, or body check everyone. There we go. Doing some good old roughing them up. Just roughing all of them up. Oh, very nice. Not even like attempting. Not even attempting at all. Yeah, okay, they're like really not even I mean, this is like probably the most inefficient way to play the game, because I don't think this is even doing damage. Okay, no, it's actually doing damage. It is doing damage because it's killing them, but it's not doing a whole lot. Yeah, it's definitely way easier to just yeah, to just use I mean that attack as well, but also just the whip. Yeah, crack the whip. It does so much freaking damage though. It's like tap the B button twice and then they're basically dead, except for these guys, because they're more powerful versions of like the mutant fish people that we saw earlier. Right, so since I am just pretty much playing through the exact same levels again, I think what I'm actually gonna do is that I am going to quit out of the game, reload it, and we are going to be showing off the other character. I'm gonna be showing off Garth here. I mentioned before that I'm not gonna try and beat the entire game. I mean, you guys have already seen, like, 3/4 of the game already, because we got all the way to the end of Mission 6, and, like, yeah, that's... Like I said, there's only 8 missions in this game in total. We already got all the way up to, like, the end of the 6th mission with the UFO chase, and yeah, there's not too much to see left in the game beyond that, or not too much to see beyond that, so... You guys have already seen the vast majority of the game, actually. So very quickly, I'm just gonna show off what Garth is all about. So, I think Garth is probably the most difficult character to use, because I don't think his, I think his weapons are probably, like, the weakest, or at least I feel like they are. Yeah, sometimes he uses his gun to obliterate the enemies as well. Oh my god, what is even happening here? There we go, get out of here, for goodness sakes. Yeah, I don't really like Garth all too much. So he has this, like, weird weapon right here that also shoots lightning. Not quite like a whip, though. Yeah, he also does also use a pistol from time to time, like when you're basically mashing the B button. I do need to mention as well, by the way, that the characters do not behave any differently when you're in the rail shooter sections. I think they perform the exact same way as, like, every other character, pretty much. Yeah, I feel like Garth is probably the least fun character to use here. I mean, what other attacks does he have? Yeah, he has the dive attack. Okay, does he have, like, the body check as well? Yeah, he does. Body checks him with his weapon, pretty much. Okay, so I guess I could also show off what his special attack is. So, his special attack is that he sends in some sort of spaceship to kill all the enemies. Yeah, basically rain down bullets on them, which again, it only destroys the small enemies instantly. Larger enemies, it does damage, but it doesn't always kill them outright, though. Yeah, I can show you that again, just in case you missed it. Yeah. It's probably, like, the fastest one to use in terms of, like, animation, because I think its animation is the fastest. I wonder if this has ever been speedrun before as well. Like, what would a 2-player speedrun of this look like? 2-player co-op? Or hell, what would a 3-player co-op run on the arcade version look like? I would love to see that, because I mentioned before at the beginning of the video that the arcade version of Alien Storm does support 3 players, so you could have everyone playing as, like, Karen, Garth, and Scooter respectively. All 3 of them just tearing it up on the screen. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Get out of here, please. My goodness. Just get all the electricity. All the electricity right in your freaking face. Yeah, so I can also show this as well, where, actually, will I be able to show this? Because I still think... Yeah, I have no energy left. Okay, well... Okay, yeah, so when I have no energy, you can only use your weapon as a melee attack. That's about it. I mean, I don't know, does he attack the fastest, though? I have no idea. How's that not even, like, hitting me? Okay, I can kinda... Oh, I can still dive into him, and that does damage, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember if this game's ever been speedrun at AGDQ before, or SGDQ for that matter. Maybe it has, and I just don't remember. I'd have to go and check. I'd love to see what a 3-player speedrun of this would look like on the arcade version, though. That would probably be amazing, honestly. That would probably make for some really entertaining viewing. Now, one thing that I can mention here is that if you go into the options menu, there is the option to enable a rapid-fire mode. So, normally you have to tap the B button repeatedly in order to continue firing when you're in this run-and-gun section right here. But I believe if you enable rapid-fire, you just need to hold down the B button and you'll fire automatically, pretty much, as long as you're holding down B. So if you don't want to strain your fingers, you don't want to keep, like, repeatedly tapping the B button over and over and just, like, stress out your damn fingers, then, yeah, there is an option for that. So, I mean, there's technically an accessibility option in this game. It's only like one accessibility option, though, because this is 1991, okay? The Genesis version of Alien Storm came out in 91, and this was back at a time when, well, most developers didn't really take accessibility into consideration. In addition to that, there's also different difficulty levels in this game. I am playing the game on normal difficulty, for the record, but there is also an easy mode and a hard mode. And you can also change the rate at which your weapons consume energy as well. You can set that to either easy, normal, or hard too. So effectively, if you want to give yourself more energy that you can use if you are actually struggling with the game, or you just want to make the game easier, like you want to have the enemies, you know, if you want the enemies to hit a lot weaker than normal, or you want them to do less damage to you, then absolutely you can do that. And if you also want to, like, basically give yourself more energy, then you can do that as well. I gotta say too, though, that the music, I haven't even, like, commented on the music yet. The music in this game it's good, man. It's frickin' bangers. Bangers by the dozen. And I'm not saying that just to be funny either. I really do like the music in this game. It's just like, yeah, it almost has like that 80s vibe to it, even though this game's actually from the 90s, technically. I like it, man. Just a lot of, like, really punchy snares. Some really funky bass lines too. I was definitely jamming out to this game's music when I was playing this off screen, though. It's pretty good. I don't know if I would say it's underrated or even, like, that memorable, honestly, but I mean, it's good. It's good funky bass lines, which I always like. I always appreciate. Something else that I don't think I mentioned yet is that you don't actually need to kill every enemy in the rail shooter sections in order to beat the rail shooter sections, because sometimes if you take too long to kill the enemies in those sections, sometimes they'll just get bored and leave. Like, they will straight up just disappear from existence, and there you go, you completed that section of the game. The enemies in the rail shooter sections don't always wait for you, which is really strange. Like, even those big boss-like enemies that you sometimes see, in those sections. Like, those guys will also sometimes just, like, they'll just leave if you take too long to kill them. I imagine that the rail shooter sections probably act as, like, bonus stages as well. You know, just kill as many enemies as possible just to get a bigger score. I don't really even know, honestly. I mean, even this continue screen pretty much tells you all you need to know about this game's history as an arcade game. The game's original incarnation as an arcade game. So I decided to just die there on purpose, because I honestly think I'm just done playing the game now. Yeah, rank apprentice. So I think you get a better rank when you get a bigger score. You know, I am curious, though. What is this one-player versus two-player mode? I honestly have no idea. Let's choose Scooter. Okay, what are the two-player controls for this? Because I'm pretty sure I can actually control the second player. Oh, this is like a fighting mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, there literally is a fighting game mode here. Wait, let me... Oh my god, yeah. It's literally a fighting game mode. Huh. Oh, here we go. I used a numpad to control the other character. Okay, well, okay, that just pauses the game. I didn't want to do that. Okay, well, this is kind of weird. I still can't figure out how to actually make the second player attack. Okay, yeah, so I guess there is like a competitive mode right here where you're just, yeah, beating each other to a pulp, pretty much. Okay. I see how it is. Oh yeah, you do a lot more damage in this mode, though. If only I could figure out how to make the other player attack. Like, I can figure out how to make a move, but I don't know what, like, the command for dodge rolling is, or also attacking with him. I guess this could also be useful as a practice mode to, like, you know, test out the different attacks that each character has. I guess it could also be used for that purpose, too, now that I think about it. Yeah, we have a little bit of energy, though. Oh, we don't actually have enough energy to use any of our special attacks. Okay, yeah, because I guess that would make it a little too easy. Player 1 wins. Winner's player 1. There wasn't even a second player, honestly. Like, there really wasn't. Oh, that's just it. It just goes back to the title screen after that. Okay. I mean, not even a stage select, because it seems like... Was that, like, the only stage we could actually play on? Yeah, this is legit the only stage we can play on, like, right in front of this hotel. Man, not even a stage select? This is the worst fighting game ever. Yeah, I can't help but feel like this mode kind of feels like an afterthought. Might as well just play Street Fighter instead, good lord. Man, early Genesis titles were something else entirely. Like, they had barely... Like, just compare this to later Genesis titles, which offered, like, so much more depth and complexity, both narrative-wise and gameplay-wise. And then look back at all the, like, early Genesis titles that Sega was releasing. Like, when the Genesis first came out, and it's just like, God, there's, like, a really big difference. There's a really big difference to be seen, for absolute sure. I could also show you guys the options menu, just to show you what I'm talking about. So you have game difficulty, easy, normal, hard, energy level, easy, normal, hard. Yeah, then you have rapid fire, which can be, you know, toggled on or off. Oh yeah, you can also configure the control pad, too. So, if you're not okay with, yeah, the default control scheme, which is A button for special, B button for attack, and C button for roll, yeah, you can change it. You can switch it up to suit your own playstyle, pretty much. I think there's like 6 different control schemes that you can choose from in total. And then, of course, there's also the sound test, where you can listen to any of the music from the game, of which there's not that many, and you can also listen to all the sound effects too if you're into that. What I do find very interesting is that they actually took the time to name every single track in this game. Like, you have Breakout, Cybernate Q, Noise of Act, that's GG. God, even back in 1991 they were using terms like GG, my goodness. Dark Alley, Beyond Dance, Cybernate P, We Are Busters, and Bustin' certainly makes me feel good. Neuropath, Speed Queen, Tireless, Ulcer, Here We Go, Game Over, and Nuclear Dance. And then if you want to stop the music entirely, there's this right here, BGM Stop, which just pauses the music. And then if you want to trigger the demo from the title screen, instead of just waiting for it to trigger automatically on the title screen, yeah, you just select Demo, and it goes to a demo. I mean, there's not a whole lot to see in this demo, it's just basically, yeah, the game playing itself. Yeah, the game plays itself, but it doesn't even play itself that well. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's the demo that I was talking about. Look at this. Yeah, you got 2 players right here, all firing their cannons all at once. Look at the amount of destruction you can cause. It really does feel like that's what the game was designed a lot more for. Yeah, and then the run and gun section with this UFO again, which I already showed off before. Yep, and then it just throws you back to the title screen after like a minute, so... And by the way, I'm not sure if this was a game that I ever played on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection or not. I did initially discover this game on that compilation, and it looked kinda cool, but I don't know, I don't remember if I ever played it or not. I do recognize it from that compilation though, and that's how I first stumbled across this game, but as for whether or not I used to play it on that compilation, I don't believe I did, because I haven't played every single game that was featured on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. As far as I know, this game was never re-released for additional platforms either. I don't remember if this ever got a Virtual Console re-release. I don't believe it did. It was also not included on the Genesis Mini either, like when Sega released the Genesis Mini a couple of years ago. This was not one of the games that was included on it. It was not included in any version of the Genesis Mini. So, Alien Storm. It's an okay beat-em-up. Like, that's really all I can say about it. It's just okay. Like, it's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. I still get some enjoyment out of it from time to time. Or, I mean, I was able to get some enjoyment out of it for like a good half hour, but yeah, I would much rather play Streets of Rage, or even Golden Axe for that matter, because those are honestly way better beat-em-ups. Like, if you're looking for a genuinely good, like actually great beat-em-up, then yeah, play Streets of Rage 2 or Golden Axe, because I personally don't feel like this game is worth revisiting in 2021. I think it's better if we just leave it in the past, and I can't say I'm too surprised that the Genesis version didn't receive that many re-releases, because again, I don't believe it was ever re-released on the Virtual Console, and it was never featured on the Genesis Mini either. It was excluded from the Genesis Mini entirely in all regions of the world. The only re-release that I can think of that this received was Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on PS3 and Xbox 360, and the Sega Genesis Classics compilation for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. But as far as I know, those were all the re-releases that Alien Storm received, or at least the Genesis port did. So, if you want to play it on those platforms, I guess I could link you to the Sega Genesis Classics compilation. I mean, that compilation is also available on PC, because this is actually the Steam version that I am playing right here. I could link you to the Steam version if you want to try it out, because it's only like $1, I think. So if you're curious about it, go and pick it up on Steam for $1. I don't think I'm gonna link the entirety of the Sega Genesis Classics compilation in the description though, in case you just want to purchase this game individually, because this game didn't receive a standalone release on PS4, Xbox One, or Switch. It only came out for those platforms as part of the Sega Genesis Classics compilation. So if you want to get Alien Storm on those platforms, you'd also have to purchase like 49 other games along with it, which if you're only buying that for Alien Storm, I really don't think that's worth it at all. So just go pick up the game individually, try it out, and I don't know, maybe some of you will have fun with it, but yeah, you're better off just playing Streets of Rage pretty much. And I will eventually do a video on Streets of Rage, by the way. Streets of Rage 2 is definitely on my to-do list. That may even be the next Genesis game that I cover on the channel. Indeed, I will be playing Streets of Rage 2 on the channel at some point. I've wanted to do that for quite some time, actually, and yeah, it could possibly be the next Genesis game that I play, maybe sometime in March. That's right, I'm gonna be playing a Genesis title that most of you will probably actually recognize for a change. Doesn't that sound exciting? So yeah, that's Alien Storm. I do like the fast-paced nature of the game, like the fast-paced arcade nature, and also the fact that it switches genres in between individual levels. Like, you also have elements of rail shooters and run and guns in there, which is pretty neat. But there's a very clear lack of depth and complexity in this game, and also, it's just way too damn short. Like, the main issue I have with this game is that I just don't feel like there's a great deal of replay value. There's nothing really there to, like, entice you to come back to the game and play it again. Apparently, there's a fighting game mode, but the fighting game mode is so bare bones that honestly, you're better off just playing Street Fighter. It really does feel like the fighter mode was a complete afterthought on Sega's part, so I would not recommend playing it. Like, one stage, not even any options to configure the game at all, like, frick that, man. So that's it. That's my whole verdict on Alien Storm. It's just an okay beat-em-up. And within the next month or so, I will actually be playing a genuinely good beat-em-up for a change, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, thanks as always for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video I make. Later!